G'day. Catherine, in the interest of communication, I bring greetings from His Majesty the King of Bhutan. So I'm seated by the host, and Fiona asked me, "How do you know Peter?" And I had to think back to last year when Peter reached out to my office, and then when we had a virtual call, and then how I bumped into him, or rather, he bumped into me in Baku during the COP. And then he shows up in Bhutan. So obviously, I'm getting nervous. So it's like, why on earth is Peter following me? I'm going to follow him right back and right back to Melbourne. And what a wonderful evening. This dinner, this energy, brilliant, comes very, very close to what I've experienced in the cricket ground. When all of you were meeting and greeting each other, I had a quiet moment in the stands by myself, imagining the great Boxing Day Test cricket match. And as Australia went on to beat England, I thought I'd go for a cold beer. And my wife, who was near me, thank goodness for that, as always, said perhaps I should stay away from the beer. Because last evening, Peter taught me something. I grew up thinking there's no such thing called a free lunch, but he taught me there's no such thing called a free dinner. And had I gone for that beer, I would be babbling here, not knowing how to start and when to end. And I wouldn't be able to introduce my country. This, by the way, is not my idea. Peter, yours? Thank you very much. Thank you. I haven't seen this promotional video. I want to go back. I want to go to Bhutan. I don't know about y'all. So, I'm supposed to talk about Bhutan and our status as being carbon, not just neutral, but carbon negative. You just saw Bhutan. You may have heard about Bhutan being like Shangri-La. This was nonsense. There were way too many monks. There are many more ordinary people like me. We are not Shangri-La. You may have heard that Bhutan is the happiest people. No. We are ordinary people who sometimes when you reach out for a cold one, don't get it. You may have heard that in Bhutan, tourism is banned. This promotional video says loudly, no, no, no. We are open for tourism. Many people keep Bhutan in their bucket list. If you have Bhutan in your bucket list, remove it from that bucket and put it onto a to-do list. And then some people say that Bhutan is a carbon negative country. Yes. We are a carbon negative country. We were the first carbon negative country. Now there's like a couple of other carbon neutral countries. We sequester 11.4 million tons of carbon dioxide each year, and we emit only 1.7 million tons. 1.7 because we are an underdeveloped economy. So we are a net carbon sink of about 9.7 million tons of carbon dioxide every year. And for a small country, that's a hell of a lot. But what's scary is that if you were to think back pre-industrialization, I bet every place on earth was carbon neutral. How is it that in 350 odd years, it's just tiny Bhutan that's carbon neutral and carbon negative? And why is it still acceptable? How is it that Bhutan is carbon negative? It didn't happen automatically. We had to make sacrifices. It was a deliberate choice. But let me give you 10 reasons why we are carbon negative, why we are a carbon sink. Number 10. I hope you like lists. To-do list, not bucket list. Okay, so number 10 is our location. We are located just outside the tropics, where it's warm and good for subtropical forests. But we are located near the Bay of Bengal, which gives us a lot of rain, just what forests require. Number 9 are our mountains. We are a landlocked country, and we have nothing but mountains. All mountains. From little mountains that begin at 100 meters above sea level, but very quickly go all the way up to almost 8,000 meters above sea level. If you were to go as the crow flies, from 100 meters to 7,500 odd meters is just 160 kilometers. In this little distance, as the crow flies, you have a huge variety of ecosystems. From lush tropical jungles in the south, to subtropical jungles, to temperate forests, to alpine pastures, and then there are permanent glaciers. Those glaciers are now melting. Our mountains located near the tropics give us the opportunity of a biodiversity hotspot. Number 8 is our people. In this mountainous people live 750,000 people. Just 750,000 people. Obviously, our demands on our forests are also going to be limited, especially since our people are spread throughout the country and we have taken grid electricity throughout our country to our villages. So the demands and pressures on the forests are limited. Number 7 is our spirituality, which was in full display in the promotional video. This small group of people, we have maintained our spirituality, our culture, our traditions. We not just respect nature, we worship nature. As such, lakes and rivers, cliff faces, entire forests are seen to be the dwelling of our deities. Many trees in Bhutan are identified by local communities as sacred trees where their deities reside and will not allow anybody to even pluck a leaf. Our mountains are not for climbing. We have the world's tallest unclimbed mountain at 7,500 odd meters above sea level. We probably have the second highest and third highest simply because mountaineering is banned. And it's banned because we believe our deities reside in these mountains. We don't want people trampling all over the mountains. We don't want their waste, nor do we want their dead bodies on our mountains. I was delighted to see that you have banned climbing Uluru. I feel your sacred connection with this ancient land. In the few conferences I've been to in Melbourne, in the few meetings I've been to in Melbourne, every meeting seems to be prefaced by gratitude to the spirits of the land, past, present, and future. So happy to see this, because this is exactly what our connection in Bhutan with our spirits is all about. So that was number 7. Number 6. The number 6 reason why we are a carbon negative country is our development philosophy. Now, I said we are not the happiest country in the world. Many people perceive us to be the happiest country in the world because our development philosophy is gross national happiness. That's a development philosophy. Gross national happiness puts the happiness and well-being of our people in the front and center of the development agenda. Economic growth is important, but it must be balanced with social progress, cultural preservation, environmental conservation, and good governance. And it is because of gross national happiness that our environment is intact and we are a carbon negative country. It is because of gross national happiness that 100% of our electrical energy comes from renewable sources. All because of the fast-flowing rivers we enjoy in our mountains. It is because of gross national happiness that we also have democracy. Democracy in Bhutan was imposed by our kings on a reluctant people. We didn't want democracy. It was imposed on us. And the problem with democracy is leaders, even those who have done STEM education. I'm an engineer, Catherine. Even with the STEM background, cannot be trusted. And so, number 5 is our constitution. Our constitution requires that a minimum of 60% of our country is kept under forest cover. By constitution, 60%. In reality, it is almost 70%. And my friends in San Francisco who own Planet Lab, they tell me that 80%, according to their estimate, using low orbital satellites, it's 80% of our land is under forest cover. The point is, the number 6 reason why we are carbon neutral is because of our constitution. Our constitution requires us to remain carbon negative. But the constitution also puts the onus on all the people. We, the people, are the custodians of our natural heritage, and we must not destroy it. We must protect it, we must preserve it, we must pass it on to our next generation. And the crowning jewel of our natural assets is our protected areas. This is the number 4 reason why we are carbon negative. Our protected areas. More than half our country is identified and protected as wildlife sanctuaries and national parks, nature reserves. They're all interconnected with biological corridors. It's teeming with wildlife, flora and fauna, birds, insects, animals. Our responsibility is to protect our entire biodiversity for us, for our future, and for the world. The number 3 reason is precisely why we protect our natural assets, our children and their education. Whether they are monks or children who go to modern school, are taught at a very early age to live in harmony with Mother Nature, to respect Mother Nature, to view it as sacred. This is why our children take part in cleaning campaigns. This is why they plant trees throughout the year, but especially on June 2nd, which is Social Forestry Day. We have a day that's called Social Forestry Day, and all our students excitedly plant trees during that day. 2015, 100 volunteers got carried away, all men got carried away, and in 1 hour they planted 49,500 trees in 1 hour. The Guinness Book of World Records, their representative was at hand and they certified that this was a world record. Just 100 men. The next year, 100 women, not to be outdone, in a different part of the country, smashed the world record. Smashed it by planting 50,000 trees. But the problem was, nobody from Guinness was there. True story, you can look it up. Absolutely true story. The number 2 reason why we are carbon negative is financing. Ultimately, we need finances. And many years ago, in 1991, Bhutan established what is called the Bhutan Environmental Trust Fund. The first environmental trust fund in the world, and I'm very happy that many more have started all around the world. And then in 2016, we established Bhutan for Life. Now, the Bhutan Environment Trust Fund is to finance in conservation efforts throughout the country. The Bhutan for Life Fund is specifically for protected areas. Again, there, several other countries have copied the model, and they have also project finance for permanence. More recently, Bhutan is getting ready for implementing Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. We have a Bhutan Climate Fund. We have bilateral agreements. We have carbon market regulations, carbon market policies. We've identified carbon projects. We have a registry. We have the works. We need investors. Come and join us in this exciting journey. And the number 1 reason why we are carbon negative. Do I hear a drum roll? The number 1 reason is leadership. Ultimately, it's all about leadership. And in our case, it is the leadership of our kings, our enlightened monarchs. They have made sacrifices. They have kept us on this path of conservation and doing our bit for the world in terms of sequestering greenhouse gases. Without leadership, wouldn't be possible. We have leaders here. Peter, Fiona, Catherine, all of you. We have leaders here. You must play a respective part. This morning, Brad from We Art asked me, he said he's seen some of my videos. Where do I get the passion from? And Paul from Wagimi, Walamai Capital says, what inspires you? What keeps you optimistic when things are so bad? It is leadership. I have the great opportunity of serving my king and my country. It is the leadership of my king that keeps me optimistic and fills me with passion. Your leadership must do the same for your people. Our king, through his leadership, has protected Bhutan and kept it a carbon sink. Our king, through his leadership, has established a coalition of carbon neutral countries. So at the moment, it is Panama, Suriname, Madagascar, and Bhutan. Just 4 carbon neutral countries. But we need a platform to showcase to the world that being carbon neutral is recognized. Our king has also established within Bhutan the Gyelufu Mindfulness City. This is a 2,500 square kilometer special administrative region that is already a biodiversity hotspot, that is already carbon negative. This special administrative region is being developed to provide opportunities to live in harmony, where people can live in harmony with other people and people can live in harmony with Mother Nature, where there's business to be done in terms of education and knowledge, health and well-being, sustainability and conservation, technology, and yes, finance. A city that will be based on the principles of mindfulness, sustainability, harmony, and gross national happiness. A city where your investments will find a gateway to South Asia, to India, to South Asia, and indeed, Southeast Asia as well. So come and join us. Help us keep Bhutan this way, a carbon sink, a gift, not just for the Bhutanese. Come and visit us so you enjoy what we have today. Come and help protect us. Come and help protect our natural assets so that we can pass this on to future generations. Yes, future Bhutanese, but more importantly, our collective future. Thank you very much. Karinchia. Thank you.